Before we move on, I also want to point out that Rhyhorn was our 10% chance in the entrance. Not every area has a 10% chance that is actually worthwhile, but Area 1 here does. It's a Pokemon we actually have never seen. No, that's not true. Galen had one. It's a Tauros. He said he caught it in the Safari Zone. Of course, he lied. He cheated it in the game, but for all intents and purposes, sure, he caught it in the Safari Zone because it can only be found there. We also have the 4% Chansey and a 1% that we haven't ever seen that is a 4% chance in a different area. You get what I'm saying, right? So, without further ado, time to throw another neat fact at you while I throw balls at the Tauros. Originally, there was a completely different plot for the Safari Zone. Or at least another additional plot. Originally, as indicated by unused text, it would talk about how Sylph's chief was hiding in the Safari Zone. Perhaps due to him working with Team Rocket? We can't be quite sure, but essentially one of the reasons you would be in the Safari Zone is to look for the president of Silphco, who had run away, either hiding from Team Rocket or working with Team Rocket. There's more evidence for the original plan of Team Rocket and Sylph working together. This is not so in the final game. Team Rocket has taken over the Sylph Company, but originally, it seems that were not the case. There is an unused trainer class known as Chief in the game's code, and it uses I don't know if we've seen the trainer class Scientist yet, but it will pull up the sprite for them. However, in earlier builds of the game, it will pull up the sprite for the 7th gym leader, Blaine, who, right before the final version of the game, had a completely different design. So it seems that the Chief design was given to the 7th gym leader, Blaine, while the Scientist sprite was moved over to the unused Chief trainer class. Another connection between Silphco and Team Rocket that not a lot of people seem to realize is Porygon is only available in the Rocket Game Corner as a prize. Porygon was made by Silphco, so it seems very clear that Team Rocket and the Sylph Company were originally working together. Damn it. No, no, get out! Fuck you guys. It seems I forgot to turn off my alarm to feed the cats, which my wife is currently doing, so there was a stampede in here. Fitting for Tauros because they like to stampede. Ash, in the Japan exclusive episode related to the Safari Zone of the anime, accidentally caught 30 of them while they were stampeding. A rowdy Pokemon with a lot of stamina. Once running, it won't stop until it hits something. A very decent Pokemon, if you ask me. I don't know, bulls just make me think of sports right now for some reason. So I will not be giving him a nickname because I hate sports. And I like Tauros and I don't want to tarnish him. Okay guys, I ran into the 1% chance Scyther. A grass bug, I believe? Now, we are going to experience a problem. Scyther has high speed. In the Safari Zone, speed is what makes a Pokemon most likely to run away. Chansey also has high speed. I'm surprised it didn't already run. But that's why some of these Pokemon are just huge pains to catch. Also, I realized, after looking at it in my notes just now, we have a trade where we're supposed to give somebody a Parasect on route, what route? 11? No, route 18. We give somebody a Tangela and they give us a Parasect. I wasted that entire Safari Zone game catching a Parasect and an accidental Rhyhorn for no reason. We have finally run into the pain in the ass Chansey. Might be all cute and nice to us in the Pokemon Center, but here we go. You missed the Pokemon! We haven't seen that yet. If you are extremely unlikely to catch it, you just missed the Pokemon. In Generation 1, these are the only games this can happen. And it's so painfully frustrating and insulting, and this is likely to happen every single time we throw a ball. So you know what? Let's try the rock. Why not? We'll show it off. And that's what happens. Alright, I'm going to try a rock again on our second Chansey, and that immediately happens again. I just want to point out at this point that I have encountered way more Scyther than I have Chansey because of how awful Chansey is. It's cursed. Chansey is cursed, truly. I have been fast forwarding. My strategy is just fast forwarding, running along this patch of grass, and hoping for the best. And I'm mostly encountering Scyther. Now, if I miss the Pokemon, I usually throw a rock and hope that my heightened chance of catching it works out in my favor. And that usually I only have this issue with Chansey. I remember it took me like 5 hours last time I played this on the Game Boy to catch Chansey. Just Chansey. Nah, it couldn't have been 5 hours. Probably more like 3. And there is an algorithm you can look at for what happens if you throw the bait and the rock. Like there's an eating counter and an anger counter that increase when you throw a bait or a rock, and it all just seems, oh my, I cannot believe it, without fast forwarding and everything. Beautiful. Please get in the ball, please. At least get, no. Fine, we'll throw the rock, you're gonna run. I know how this works. Oh my god, please. Oh, it actually got in the ball. That is, oh! Eventually, once that text stops showing up about how angry it is, yeah, okay, of course, then it's just back to normal, and you can throw the rock again. I think you can stack it by throwing another rock, or you can reset the anger counter to 0 and start the eating counter by throwing the bait. But if anybody has any tips, oh my god, I cannot believe this. Let me know in the comments. But I've looked it up, and people have complete opposite strategies for this. There doesn't seem to be an actual strategy. Of course, I don't watch a lot of videos of, like, here's the science behind this, and why you should do this online. I'm sure there's plenty, but I'm just not that interested. It seems like it would take more time for me to figure out how to do it. Seriously? Wow, okay. I'm not going to complain about this luck. It's just, no, it's just tempting. It's taunting me. But at least it's there. At least I'm not just grinding out the chance. Great, we're back to the Nidoran now. I'd rather just play the game of patience. This is just a game of patience. And you know what? Again, because it's a pace breaker, I'm glad it's here. You know, it's honestly not all that fun, but it feels fun for whatever reason. I don't know, just because it's like, oh, this is rare and it's different. You're not using your Pokemon to fight it. It's much more peaceful. You're just throwing a ball at it and you're kidnapping an innocent creature. So maybe not that fair, but I am resetting and ending up in the same spot because, you know, you want to save on that $500 and that walk to the different areas. So there, that is my strategy, as much as you can call it a strategy. After 15 minutes, I finally did it. If I weren't sped up, that would have taken... Oh, see, I was sped up 10 times, so... 150 minutes? Oh my god, I even stopped slowing it down for the Chansey fights because I realized there's going to be a million of them before I catch this thing. The rock and then ball strategy works out. It's very tedious, but it works. The egg Pokemon, a gentle and kind-hearted Pokemon that shares its nutritious eggs if it sees an injured Pokemon. Beautiful. You know, I feel like a lot of players would be tempted to give Chansey a mean name for the trouble it caused us, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to give it a nice nickname, though. I'm going to save immediately, even though we're not going to get any headway into the next area. But oh my god, that is such a relief. Alright, well, I will see you in Area 2, I believe, for the next Pokemon. After this game is over. Safari game, not Pokemon Yellow. Kangaskhan, the parent Pokemon, raises its young in its belly pouch. Won't run from any fight to keep its young protected. Beautiful. I want to nickname you Kanga. I don't remember what Kangaskhan in the series is named Kanga, but that's what we're going to do, because why not? There's an interesting episode about Kangaskhan in Season 1 of the anime, where a wild boy lives in a Kangaskhan pouch. It's interesting. But now we are going to hunt for Scyther in Area 2. Well, that didn't take terribly long. The Mantis Pokemon leaps out of tall grass and slices prey with its scythes. The movement looks like that of a ninja. This Pokemon is very terrifying, honestly. And I will name it after what my friend Galen always names his Scyther. Scythe. I know, he has very original names. Now on to the final area. I believe we only have one more Pokemon to catch, and you know it, and I know it, and it's Pinsir. Pinsir is a good example of the only Pokemon in the game I'm going to use bait on. Simply because I throw a ball, it doesn't catch, and he runs. Every single time I've encountered a Pinsir, this has happened. But of course, it lessens the chance of actually getting him in the ball at all. So it doesn't seem all that useful. I'm not sure I'll be continuing to try it. After much time. Well, not really, it just felt like it. Chansey still took longer. I've been doing the Safari Zone, and we have now cleared it of items and new Pokemon for us to catch in 2 hours and 5 minutes. I deserved that nice jingle. Oh, thank God. The Stag Beetle Pokemon grips its prey in its pincers and squeezes hard. It can't move if it's cold, so it lives in warm places. Generally seen as a counterpart to Scyther. I believe one is only available in red version and one is only available in blue, but they're both available here in yellow. Of course, we're missing out on a ton of the Jinx counterparts, like Jinx, including Jinx. We will name you Metapod because of episode 4 of the anime Challenge of the Samurai, where Pinsir shows up for, I think, the only time throughout Season 1. No, okay, only major time. And Ash sends out his Metapod and gets scared that Pinsir is going to kill Metapod by snapping it in half with its horns? Stags? The things they crush things with. Okay, you can actually nickname a Pokemon the name of another Pokemon species. That's good and confusing. Okay. Great. Whew, that feels good. Again, I mainly enjoy it because it is a, Okay, I won't fight you if you say the Safari Zone sucks grinding Pokemon if you're going for completing the Pokédex. Because objectively speaking, it kinda does, but I'm just a fan of anything that reminds me of All-Star by Smash Mouth. Worst joke in existence, I'm so sorry. You get it, right? Because it breaks the mold. Here's what it looks like if you just leave. Leaving early? Yep. Please return any Safari balls you have left. That's right, you cannot keep them. But let me just make sure, because now that we have 96 Pokemon, I want to make sure we actually caught them all in a saved game. We did, in fact, get every Pokemon available in the Safari Zone, but I saw one hole going through my Pokédex. I completely forgot to use a Water Stone, which I actually had to go buy because we've used so many already. I'm sorry, you. I'm kind of surprised nobody in the comments pointed this out, but here it is. We already know what it evolves into. I mean, come on. We saw the battle with Misty. It's Starmie, and that is such a nice detailed sprite. The mysterious Pokemon, a whopping 176 pounds. The center section is named the core. People think it is communicating when it glows in 7 colors. And now I will prove to you that you can go from a bike to a surfing Pokemon. Wow, I bet you didn't believe me before, but now you believe me. Unless you think I was editing the video, but I do very bare bones editing. That's part of my beautiful charm. And we can finally go here. This is Cerulean Cave. Horribly strong Pokemon live in there. The Pokemon League champion is the only person who is allowed in. Huh. Well, we are hoping to become that one day. So, allusion to a post-game! Woo! And you know what else? We saw somebody over here ages ago. There's no items over here, just one trainer. I came to get my mushroom Pokemon! We just caught the mushroom Pokemon! You know, I'm going to leave this entirely very remote battle in, because why not? We're going to swap out for Char, of course. I'm so sorry if that Safari Zone video, if it is all going to fit in one video, was a little obnoxious. But I tried my best, I promise. I had a lot of stuff to go over, and I know, talking about the Silphco Chief there is a little awkward, because I thought maybe I'd do Silphco first to get that message across, but oh well. What's done is done, and I cannot redo it. Now, there was some other stuff I was going to go over, and I guess while this battle plays out, I can use some of the unused music that people have found in the game's files. So do we have anything else that's good against bug grass? I don't know what else would be. Let's just keep using Char, because why not? Here is a key item fanfare that went unused. Okay, that's got to be over by now. Here's an unused trainer victory. Here is the unused theme intended for Diglett's Cave. Version of Route 3. There's some fanfares and stuff, but I recommend you go on the cuttingroomfloor.net, tcrf.net, to check them out, because I don't want to play them all here. Oh, okay. This is Golduck, the evolution of Psyduck. For whatever reason, the only place so far that we can find Psyduck and Golduck is surfing on Route 6. And, it's another water stone we don't have to use, because I believe... No, I'm sorry. As a kid, I thought Psyduck evolved via water stone. He does not. I didn't check what level he was. That's dumb. Okay, we'll just use a Great Ball and hope for the best. No, of course that's not going to work. Should we use the Mega Punch? Let's use the Mega Punch and hope for the best. Use the Mega Punch! Did way too much. Oops, big waste. I actually reset just to get that Great Ball back because I remembered I had just saved, so why not? The Duck Pokemon! Actually, I don't even know if we've seen Psyduck yet. Sorry if we haven't, and I just assumed you knew who Psyduck was. I love Psyduck. Psyduck is, I feel, a very underrated Pokemon design. Always tormented by headaches. It uses psychic powers, but it is not known if it intends to do so. This has a great representation in the anime with Misty's Psyduck. I just love Psyduck's 3 hairs, and its whole character, as represented in the anime, is very nice, but essentially when its headache gets bad enough, it starts using psychic powers. It's not psychic type, which I kind of thought was dumb. Slowpoke is, but Psyduck isn't, and they seem to be counterparts of each other. Although Slowpoke evolves with the Water Stone. I remember that. Psyduck does not. Because they're so counterparty in my brain, I thought that Psyduck also evolved with the Water Stone. But oops, I was wrong. Its slim and long limbs end in broad flippers. They are used for swimming gracefully in lakes. 169 pounds. That was honestly more anger-inducing than the Safari Zone. The entire Safari Zone. Oh my god. Because the actual, chance of a Pokemon spawning at all there is so slim. So I actually sped up. And surfing back and forth on those tiles was so obnoxious. Because I would accidentally get out and get in the tall grass, and I would have to go back in the menu and surf again, and it took a good 10 minutes to find another Golduck. It was unpleasant. Yes, I still have my ticket on me. This is what we have been waiting for. We do not want to get on the SSN, and there actually aren't Pokemon programmed here while surfing, but we can explore. This is actually walkable area that you can't access without surf. And you don't get surf until way after the SSN is supposed to go away. So most of this normally goes unseen in the game unless you trade a Pokemon over with Cut. But the most interesting thing, there's no hidden items in here or anything. There's just this truck, slightly off screen. The truck is only present right here. A very, very remote object. If I may talk about rumors for a minute. Once it was announced by Satoshi Tajiri in Famitsu magazine, I believe, that there was a 151st Pokemon unobtainable in the games. Originally, Mew was only meant to be obtained by Game Freak staff. So thanks Shigeki Morimoto for making us frustrated. Very early on in the idea for capsule monsters, Tajiri had the idea of unobtainable monsters. You know, to flesh out the world of the game. They later abandoned that, only for it to be secretly included as a very last-minute addition, you know, known as Mew. There is nothing under this truck. There's nothing in this truck. This truck does nothing. But there were so many schoolyard rumors of kids who got cut early like we did and came back to the harbor with Surf finding this truck. They could have sworn there was a way to get Mew out from under this truck. The rumors aren't true at all, but they sparked so much popularity in Pokemania, as it's called. You know, like Beetlemania, but with Pokemon. Honestly, I want to know which one was bigger. Beetlemania or Pokemania? Is there a way we can calculate that? It's probably Pokemania. I do love the Beatles, though, but I do love Pokemon quite a bit more. That's a tangent we don't need to be on right now while I'm standing still. There were rumors such as get all 150 other Pokemon, go to the truck, and then Mew will spawn. to more ridiculous my uncle works at Nintendo stuff that was entirely ludicrous, like having specific Pokemon at specific levels and specific, party slots, and going there and playing the Poke-Flute would make Mew spawn. All of this is fake. But it was very fun being a kid in the 2000s even, knowing that these rumors existed. I was just like the last sliver of a window who got to experience rumors like this in Pokemon games. And the Mew truck has to be the most infamous one. Commented on by Game Freak several times since these original games. So this is an ode to Pokemania. There are several other rumors that I'll go over, I guess, while we travel around, because why not? Ah! I didn't know we couldn't fly. Actually, is this counted as a dungeon? No. I didn't know. I don't know if you can use dig on the SSN, but actually we don't need to fly anyway. What am I doing? We need to do this. I guess I'll talk on the way up to the captain so we can finally see this scene play out. Good memories of when we were here so long ago. But you may have noticed there was tall grass all around Pallet Town. It's completely inaccessible. It's not part of Route 1. Just on the west and east sides of Pallet Town, there's inaccessible grass. It was rumored that there were ways to get there, that an HM06 would be jump, that would allow you to jump over the poles, those weird cylindrical things, and allow you to hop the fence and go to pallet fields where you could catch Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. So you could have all the starters. Of course, you can't access that. There's also rumors of Bill's secret garden, because there is a fence behind Bill's house. It was presumed that there was a way to get back there, that maybe if you beat the game or completed the Pokédex, Bill would let you go back there and catch rare Pokemon in his secret garden. And that's where you could see his collection also, but sadly that is fake. However, it was rumored that you could catch Togepi in Pokemon Yellow in pallet fields. Togepi is a Generation 2 Pokemon that debuted in Season 1 of the anime, very early before Generation 2. And there were very convincing videos on YouTube back in the day of this phenomenon. But there were also rumors you could catch Pikachu in Bill's secret garden. You know, the evolution of Raichu, not Gurochu, Pikachu, which looked like Meryl, a Pokemon that also debuted early, before Generation 2. I don't know why Pikachu, why a water type would apparently show up, but I don't know. Anyway, the moment you've all been waiting for. Ooh, I feel hideous. Seasick. Red rubbed the captain's back. Rub, rub. Rub, rub. No rubbing. Woo! Thank you. I feel much better. You want to see my cut technique? I could show you if I wasn't ill. I know. You can have this. Well, I don't know why my controller's not responding. What? No fanfare? Is that it? Whew! Now that I'm not sick anymore, I guess it's time. Has my game been on so long I'm like lagging out the memory? I'm pretty sure you're supposed to get a fanfare for that. Or maybe not because we already have cut? I don't know. I don't think I've ever legitimately traded to get this early. I've just used cheats to be able to walk through walls and stuff like that to see the truck for myself. But, say goodbye. After talking to the captain, all the trainers and items on the SSN become permanently inaccessible. Same with the harbor. Of course, there's no items in there. There are Pokemon, but you can catch those elsewhere. The ship set sail. Is that what you say? Yep. And we can never go back. Such a shame. Exclusively on Route 12 and 13 in yellow. By the way, the Psyduck and Golduck on Route 6 is only in yellow. No idea why. Oops. This is not where I want to be. You can catch Slowpoke and Slowbro. And you may remember this island here with this item being a... Speaking of huge source of frustration... Oh my god. The Dopey Pokemon. Incredibly slow and sluggish. It is quite content to loll about without worrying about the time. It's kind of what I was also zoning out just then. I forgot entirely what was going on. So we're going to name this one Jason. Because that was a hashtag relatable moment. Don't give your speech about relatable humor again, please. Or relatable just media in general. Jeez. 100 Pokemon! Woo! Put in a celebratory sound effect. Slowbro, the hermit crab Pokemon. Lives lazily by the sea. If the shelter on its tail comes off, it becomes a Slowpoke again. Only example of a Pokemon that can devolve? Like the Super Mario Brothers movie. 1993, not 2023. Yeah, so... What does Shelter become? Because that doesn't look like Shelter. That's because originally that Pokemon there on Slowbro's tail wasn't Shelter. It was its own Pokemon that they later cut out of the game. In seamless transition here, I used all my Great Balls on that Slowbro just to get rid of them mostly. So we could pick this up. Because I am just a darn genius. Payday! Oh. I had no idea that anybody could learn that. Okay. Well, we're not going to use it. We've seen what it does. We don't need money that desperately, because I don't think it's that great of a move, but it's not bad. Let me look up how much power it has. Well, it's not bad for early in the game. It has 40 power. I'm not all that interested in that personally. But we are going to do our Route 18 trade and then go see a new area off to the side, entirely optional, that we can get with Surf to procrastinate Silphco even longer. For the record, this is a horrible trade. There is no point to this because Parasect is way easier to get than Tangela. Tangela is quite rare, sort of. I believe you can find Tangela if you surf south from Pallet Town, but we'll be seeing that area much later. The entire game, pretty much, has opened up to us now that we have Surf. So, since we can go anywhere, I'm going to go in a particular order. There's so many options open to you now that we'll be dealing with them all in due time. Right now I'm going to do an optional dungeon after we return the gold teeth to the warden in Fuchsia City. Oh, I'm so excited to see the Parasect's nickname. Hey, thanks! Isn't my old Parasect great? Let's see. Spike. Hold on, what moves do you have? Wow. Great indeed. For those who don't remember, the warden's house is right here. Red gave the gold teeth to the warden. The warden popped in his teeth. Thanks, kid. No one could understand a word that I said. I couldn't work that way. Let me give you something for your trouble. HM04. That's right. Immediately after HM03. HM04 teaches strength. It lets Pokemon move boulders when you're outside of battle. Oh yes. Did you find Secret House in Safari Zone? If you do, you win an HM. I hear it's the rare Surf HM. You hear? Aren't you the boss? I guess they don't know all the details. Well, I already know who I'm giving this to. Actually, I don't. For sure. Do I want to give it to David or Wind Up? You know what? Ooh, that's so tough. No, David, or Wind Up gets same type attack bonus, so I'll be right back. Oh, I didn't even realize Pokey can use Strength. But since Wind-Up is normal type, I feel like Wind-Up will benefit the most from Strength. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get rid of Body Slam so I don't just debate it for forever. I'm not sure which one actually has more power, but you know what? We need Strength, so we're going to go for it. I may kick myself for that later, like I've been kicking myself for getting rid of Seismic Toss, but oh well. Rare Candy. Beautiful. I don't know who has leveled up most recently. Actually, I do. That would be Char. Then Char took down another Pokemon afterward, right? So, nah, we'll save it. We'll wait. Alright. Well, that's everything except for that patch of water off Route 10 near Rock Tunnel. So I'm going to fly to Cerulean and meet you there. Not in Cerulean. Also, I want to point out that I still believe that Saffron and Fuchsia were swapped in like intended order at some point. Fuchsia is listed as 5th in most materials, and Saffron is listed as 6th. But most guides tell you to go to Saffron first because it makes the most sense. You know, as far as gameplay goes, Saffron is right there. But even in the map, Saffron is last, which follows the badge order, but I think they swapped it last minute to try to act like the intended method was to save Silphco for later, because they put all the Team Rocket fights all in a row, and there's none related to Fuchsia City. So I think the whole tying it into the Safari Zone thing, maybe that was to make it more about the adventure and not obsess over, you know, the villainy as much, to make the world a bit nicer. I'm not sure, personally. We'll never know. Well, we may know if the developers talk about it, but I doubt they will, personally, if they haven't already. Oh, we'll use Wind Up this time, because why not? I just realized Wind Up has 2 HMs that are impossible to forget. What have I done? Oh well. We really only need him for physical prowess anyway. Surf's just a nice backup alternative move. And I realized I never explained why Weedle is such a cheater. Our Weedle, specifically cheater. Weedle can't normally learn Cut, or any of its other moves that I haven't really shown off yet. I did in that one battle, but let's reiterate. I don't think it can learn any of these moves, and they're all very powerful except for Cut. So that's the joke. That's why it's funny. Alright, well, let's see what you're all about, buddy. Wow, are you a Pokemaniac too? Want to see my collection? You know what? We'll leave this guy in too, because why not? Another really remote trainer with a Rhyhorn. Okay. Nice time for Bulby to shine here. Watch this. I bet we can take it out in one hit. What do you bet? We did it. Big shock. With or without the crit, that would have killed him in one hit. We all know it. We were all thinking it. Have we seen Lickitung yet? I think we have. Oh, we don't have David. So I have stupid cheater instead. Oh well. So I've been going for probably 3 hours. This is the biggest recording file I have had in years, if ever. Maybe ever. It feels weird. I just wanted to get through the Safari Zone and get to a new area, and then I guess I'm going to stop. I was supposed to be working today, and I did work for a good while, but there was no business even though it's a Friday night. So I just went home, and here we are. After watching, you know, some of Joey, the 2004 series Joey. I'm staring at the DVDs on my desk right now. How many people do you think have the Season 1 DVDs of Joey on their desk right now? In fact, how many people do you think have borrowed Season 1 of Joey DVDs from their mother? I may be the only person in history to do that. If you have more rare Pokemon at home, why would you only bring 2? Power plant. Ooh. An abandoned power plant. Very interesting. So where's the existing power plant? Because it doesn't ever show up. Oh well, we'll explore more of that next time. I got distracted talking about Joey. I think the game's lagging out because the system has been on for so long. Since it's been sped up especially, it's been on for several hours. But I will see you guys next time when we explore this abandoned power plant full of rare Pokemon. Ooh.